In a bid to deepen defense cooperation, the United States and Japan have agreed to collaborate on several new ventures. This includes developing hypersonic and space-based weaponry and a new deal on sharing the cost of U.S. troops in Japan. Here's the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken giving out a rundown of those plans.
First, we'll sign a new 5-year host nation support framework that will invest greater resources to deepen our military readiness and interoperability. And we're launching a new research and development agreement that will make it easier for our scientists, for our engineers, and program managers to collaborate on emerging defense-related issues, from countering hypersonic threats to advancing space-based capabilities. When Japanese and American researchers bring their complementary strengths to bear, we can outcompete and out-innovate anyone.
The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, speaking from his home as he recovers from COVID-19, has said that the U.S.-Japan alliance was increasingly important. He was referring to the common challenges faced by the two countries. The most pressing ones are Russia's military build-up at Ukraine's border, North Korea's missile launches, the latest of which occurred just days ago, and China's aggression towards Taiwan.
ルールに基づく事実上を損なう中国の取り組みが地域及び国際社会に対するさまざまな課題を提起していることへの懸念を共有しました。そしてこうした認識を踏まえて地域における安定を損なう行動を日米が共に抑止し、必要であれば対処する決意を新たにしました。台湾海峡の平和と安定の重要性についても再度確認しました。
The emphasis on hypersonic missiles is a given. Russia, China and the US are all racing to build hypersonic weapons, the speed and maneuverability of which makes them hard to spot and deflect. North Korea has also said that it has tested a hypersonic missile this week. Japan's foreign minister said that the 2+2 dialogues with the US were important to counter the multifaceted challenges.
For the security policy of Japan, this year, 2022, is going to be an extremely important year as a variety of strategic instruments is going to be formulated in earnest. It is quite opportune that this important year begins with Japan-US 2+2 with both secretaries. The international community is faced with fundamental and multifaceted challenges such as the change in the strategic balance, unilateral and coercive attempt to change the status quo, abusive use of unfair pressure, and expanding authoritarian regime, among others.
The United States has around 55,000 troops in Japan, including a naval contingent. Under the terms of the new hosting deal, Japan will be spending approximately $1.82 billion annually to support the U.S. military presence. This meeting between the U.S. and Japan comes a day after Japan signed a security agreement with Australia. The reciprocal access agreement was only the second such deal that Japan has signed with a foreign power in a bid to counter China's influence in the Indo-Pacific region. And our correspondent Phoebe Amoroso has sent us this report from Tokyo. Take a look.
Well, as you said, yes, the US and Japan already have a very strong defence alliance. They last held these 2+2 talks back in March, but since then the security situation really has changed. It's been seen as really deteriorating across the region, and we heard today both the US and Japan single out China as having a hugely destabilising effect in the East and South China Seas and the Indo-Pacific region more broadly. They said that China was undermining the rules-based order, and they're really causing a security threat. They named issues such as tensions in the Taiwan Strait. China has been increasingly assertive towards Taiwan. It's a big concern as to how China will proceed towards wanting to reunite with Taiwan. And there's also territorial disputes, a long-standing dispute with Japan surrounding the Senkaku Islands, and China has been increasingly assertive in the seas around those areas. They also mentioned today a human rights-based violation violations in Xinjiang and Hong Kong. So really singling China out as an issue that needs to be dealt with. So that's why we're seeing these closer cooperation. In fact, one analyst I spoke to said that there's a growing realization between the US and Japan that their deterrence and response capabilities as they currently stand have not really kept pace with the change in the region and generally this shift in the balance of power. So this is why we're seeing these closer defense cooperations. Also, of course, both countries are looking towards North Korea, which launched a hypersonic missile this week, and they've announced that they will conduct a joint analysis on counter-hypersonic technology. So really, we heard today US Secretary of State Antony Blinken saying that they need to develop new tools in order to face these new challenges, and that's why we're seeing this closer cooperation between the two countries.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.